All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this amazing, exclusive episode of the Reality Kenya. And this is where we look at what's happening on the ground, what's happening where you are, and of course in Kenya in general, and the current issues. And of course, joining us this day is one of the wittiest, one of the smartest, and one of the most and the high-profile lawyers we have in the country right now, and the Deputy Party Leader, Safina Party, Honorable Wakili Willis Otieno, PIKI PONKI. Of course, we are here. We are going to talk about a few things. Wakili.
Yes.
Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
How are you?
I'm okay.
Yeah, we are here once again.
Yes.
We just want to look at what's happening because, you know, everybody has something going on in their life right now.
Yes.
And that's why we are here. This is the Reality Kenyan. We are looking at what's happening with the Kenyans on the ground and, of course, in the government as well.
Yes.
So right about now, a lot has been happening from the weekend. And some Kenyans feel that the government is almost taking Kenya back to the years of the past, more so the single party days. And the reason why this is happening is because if you look at some of the sentiments that were made by some government officials that they will not work with the people who don't recognize the government, or rather they will not work with the people who are not part of the government. Have you come across that, and yes. What do you think about all that?
I've seen that, and those statements are very disturbing.
Yeah.
Because if you look at this country,
yeah,
we are a country governed by the rule of law.
Yeah.
And the Constitution is the basic document that sets up the relationship between the people of Kenya amongst themselves and the people of Kenya with their government or the political administration in office at any given time. And it's within the framework of that document that we even have provisions that require for payment of tax by all Kenyans, because we all contribute to this body politic called Kenya to make sure that it's able to function, it's able to provide services, security, education, water, health, all the services which government provides. It's picked from a pot that we all contribute to. Then these services are provided.
Whether you are in government or...
Whether in government or opposition, whether you voted for a particular political party or not. You all contribute to this national kitty, and you are all entitled to the services to be provided. If you look at Article 10 of our Constitution, one of the basic principles of governance is what we call the principle of inclusivity. Inclusivity to mean that you cannot exclude a significant portion or even a small portion of the population from participating in their government. Participation of all people in government, in administration, is essential in any democratic society, such that it is not open to one political group to say, we will not cooperate or work with the other group because they are not recognizing us. If they don't recognize you politically, they are still within the framework of the Kenyan state. And as long as you are holding the instruments of the state, you cannot say that because of their individual beliefs, you are not going to engage with them, because what everybody is providing, those who are holding public office, what they are providing are public services to the people of Kenya. So that if you decide that you not, for example, meet or work with the governor of Kisumu, his political views notwithstanding, the people of Kisumu are entitled to services from their government, both national and county. So are you saying that the people of Kisumu are excluded from enjoying the service of that government?
Because they didn't vote for you.
Because they didn't vote for you. Then the converse will be, should they pay tax? Should they make a contribution to this national kitty that all services are financed from? That is very unfortunate to come from leaders who are supposed to espouse national unity and inclusivity in the provision of services and government. Yes.
And talking about tax, sometimes back it has been an issue, also at times when the government was allegedly frustrating the first family that they have to pay tax, or they have to pay the tax they were not paying before. And people were looking at the government as vengeful, something that they did not, that they said during the campaigns that they will not be vengeful, they will not revenge to people who might have, you know, cross paths with them. So far, how can you see the government in terms of revenge and everything, as people have always been saying?
You know, unfortunately, for this administration, they are spending too much time looking at the rearview mirror, and in a very selective manner. If you look at the legal framework that existed, for example, when the excise duty tax was payable on the property of a deceased person, that law expressly excluded the families of Jomo Kenyatta and Daniel Moi. But subsequent to the amendment of that law in early 1982 to exclude the two families, a new proposal was made to Parliament to amend the law to exclude all Kenyans.
All Kenyans? All Kenyans.
So that law was repealed. So there is no Kenyan today who pays what in law we call inheritance tax. Because before it was that if you are going to inherit any property from a deceased person, the government also became a beneficiary of the estate of a deceased. So that you see me assuming your grandfather were to die, and you are supposed to inherit that piece of land that is left behind. The government will expect you to pay some money to it from that estate.
Before it is transferred
Before it is transferred to you. But the argument was, why are we taxing that? That you are going to tax someone in his life and in his death. So in 1982, the Kenya government, in fact led by the then land minister, Gigi Kariuki, proposed an amendment, and they said, no, do away with this tax on
inheritance.
Death, so that anybody who wishes to inherit, they should be able to inherit without paying any additional tax on what they have been entitled to. And I believe any Kenyan who has gone through an inheritance process of property, no one has been asked to pay any tax in the form of excise as a result of that act of inheritance. So I see this as more of diversionary tactics, that you don't want to deal with the issues of today, the challenges of today, so you divert our attention to issues of the past, which do not, in my view, play any role or don't make any contribution to the problems that the people of Kenya are facing today. It is important that the government needs to confront and come up with tangible economic benefits that will change the lives of our people. Our people are really dying now of hunger, poverty, disease. But if we really wanted to look, because the other taxes which some people have not paid, people have benefited from tax exemptions. If we really wanted to go that route, then we can say, let's look at the last 10 years. Because also under the tax laws, there is what you call that you can only recover tax up to a certain period. It is barred by law. You cannot ask for tax that was due more than 20 years ago. It's already statutory barred. You cannot recover it. Why don't we just say, let's look at the last 10 years. And then we look at how many exemptions have been issued. Who are the beneficiaries? Did they deserve that exemption? Then you have a public discourse whether that tax should be paid. Did the then ministers who were in office, finance ministers, abuse their discretion to exempt some entities from paying tax? Then that can be a robust engagement that seeks to increase the national kitty of what is collected as tax. But if you go back to Jomo Kenyatta in 1978, when some of us have not even been born, yet even the sums that you're talking about will be negligible compared to the tax or the monies that may have been lost in the last 10 years from suspect tax exemptions that were issued. And I do believe why they will not do it is definitely there are people who are in the former regime and even the current regime who you'll find are beneficiaries of those exemptions. So they'd rather go for the dead man who has been dead for more than 30 years than to confront the elephant in the room.
And you know, some people were also saying that it was the duty of the KRA to do that instead of the government. Do you think that that was...
Yes. You see, KRA is set up as an independent authority that, of course, it works within the rubric of government. But if government wants to come up with a policy a robust policy on improving the tax base, then they're right to say, let's go back and look. But the question is that how far back do you go? Why not start with the tax exemptions of yesterday, as opposed to tax exemptions of 40 years ago, where you're going to collect what is negligible? One principle of taxation that we learn in school, in law school, is that you expend your resources to recover tax. You use the least resources to recover the most tax, as opposed to expending your resources to recover negligible sums in taxation.
And do you think the government was trying to do that?
I believe it was more of a political statement than an intervention informed by an actual need to address the real issue, which is of tax exemptions.
The elephant in the house.
That is the elephant in the room. How many exemptions are being given, for example, today? Because we are seeing so many products are coming to this country. Are they all paying tax? Are they being exempted? And on what basis are they being exempted from paying that tax? That is the elephant to me in the room.
Wow. If you look at the political wave in the country right now, it's as if people are going to election like the following month. It's already heated. It's already growing fast. And even if you look at over the weekend, there was some there's a viral clip that is going around where the DP said that this thing is like a company where we have shareholders, which is the country, So there are those people who have their shares and those people who don't have their shares. So like ile kitu watu wanasema alikuwa anamaanisha is like Kenyans who voted for them are the main shareholders who will benefit before those who did not vote for them. And they said those who did not vote for them will be the last beneficiaries. What do you think of that, more so from a high-profile state officer in the office of the Deputy President?
Again, a very unfortunate statement to make, because the office of the Deputy President is the second in command and deputizes the President. If you look at the status of a president in the Constitution, one of them is that it's a symbol of national unity. So the Deputy President is the deputy symbol of national unity. So that you don't expect the holder of such a high office to make unsavory remarks that are meant to divide Kenyans. It reminds me of Charles Taylor when he was seeking for the presidency of Liberia in 1997. And there was this very macabre song, campaign chant that his supporters would sing. I chopped off I killed your mother, I killed your father, I killed your grandfather. If you don't vote for me, I will kill you.
So the supporters were saying that?
Yeah, they were saying that we will kill you if you don't vote for us. That is intimidation of a voter. So also here, even though it is not as bad as Charles Taylor, but when you say, you did not vote for me, I will not provide you with services. It's as good as saying you are going to suffer. Because what are the services you're talking about? You're talking about health. You're talking about water. You're talking about education. You're talking about security. If the political administration is saying we will deny you these services because you don't vote for us, then without health, you don't have life.
True.
You don't have security, you don't have life. You don't have education, you're almost done. You don't have water, you don't have life. So are you condemning this huge number of Kenyans who didn't vote for the...
Because they are the majority.
They are actually the majority. They are more than a third. They are more than two-thirds. The ones who did not vote,
plus
the ones who voted for Azimio. They are more than two-thirds. So you are telling the two-thirds of the country that by virtue of not voting for us in their third, we will deny you services. Yes.
And do you think it's a motive to influence these people to vote them in the next election?
It may be. It may actually be a motive. That's what I'm saying. It will constitute an election offense because you are trying to intimidate a voter to vote in a particular way.
In the future.
Yes, when elections are called, you are telling them, if you don't vote for me, you've seen the consequences when you don't vote for me. I will deny you services. Yes.
And do you think it is one of the reasons that has influenced, most leaders from the opposition crossing over to the government so that they cannot be left out in case of anything that is done by the government?
Of course, the leaders pursue different interests. Some of them claim that are pursuing development.
The development, yeah.
And which is not defined. Because if you look at, for example, the Kisumu senator,
yeah.
One of the things that is sent out, that the issues he raised with the president for him to, in the meeting that they had, was the tarmacking of the Moroni, Chemelil, Mamboleo road. And that road is around 30 kilometers.
Yeah.
Subsequent to the meeting, you've seen the government made a communication that they have reduced the approved sum for tarmacking that road from 30 to 5 kilometers. So what development was he seeking if whatever was already issued
had already been approved?
Has been approved, and was committed to 30 kilometers. Now it has come down to 5 kilometers.
5 kilometers after the...
So it leaves you to wonder what is actually the interest that some of the leaders have.
Yeah.
Of course, I will not fault anybody for engaging with the political administration to discuss issues of mutual assistance, and most of issues that improve the welfare of the common man, because all of these people are meant to serve. It's about service to the people of Kenya. So I will not fault a leader for seeking to engage with those who are holding the purse strings of the state to serve. But there's also what you call political mischief. I call it chicanery. Chicanery. Yeah. Because you have represented yourself to be elected on a particular political platform.
Yeah.
Then once you are in office, you cross over and start acting in a manner that is not compatible with your non-political party's stand on that particular issue. So it's a thin line, and leaders need to be very careful. You see, you cannot say when Trump was president, you did not see Democrats falling all over themselves to go and meet Trump
because they were in
opposition. They're in opposition. You let Trump, and the beauty of our democracy is that allow an administration to function effortlessly without trying to bring in what was not in their manifesto, what was not in their ideals, what was not their belief, to inform their service delivered to the people. If you are elected on a particular standpoint, just stick to it. It doesn't hurt. In fact, the people of Kenya, or your voters, will respect you more when you stand
by your party,
and you stand by the ideology, the platform for which you are elected. But when you start blowing hot and cold, it shows that leader to be a very weak leader that can be easily manipulated or swayed based on unknown parameters, as I say. It may be that genuinely they are meeting to discuss issues of development, no one knows. It may be that they are pursuing personal interests, no one knows. But what is in doubt is that there seems to be a disconnect between these leaders and their political parties. Which also they need to clarify and to say, set the record straight that we are still standing by a political party position on issues of politics,
or
we've crossed over. And if you've crossed over, you just cross over and you do the dutiful thing. You resign. We have by-elections, and if the people believe that is the new path, you'll be elected back into office. But you know they want to have their cake and eat it. So what some call when you are hunting with the hounds and running with the hares at the same time. You cannot be both. You're either a hunter or you're the hunted.
And do you think that maybe as a deputy party leader, maybe if you had members of your party doing the same, maybe you are in opposition and your members are crossing to your rival party, and they claim they are going for development. Constitutionally, or rather just from your own view as a deputy party leader, do you think it is necessary for a leader to go and meet the government or the president for them to do development in their capacity of their offices if they are not CS?
You see, as I said, the fact that you hold or you're in different political parties does not connote enmity. You can still engage with each other. But you should do your engagements in a way that still respects the political party from which you come. So that you engage on issues of governance, but on issues of politics, you stand by your political party. So you don't mix the two. Let's say on this one we are discussing issues of governance and what are some of the programs or plans that the political administration has for my people. Then on issues of politics, this is what I stand politically. And you espouse the ideology of your political party. But the problem we have in Kenya is that these two are mixed all over. And they are used interchangeably to justify positions which cannot be explained better. Hence, you find, for example, the public who are supposed to be represented in some of these meetings don't even seem to fully understand the nature of engagement. Because if you had a public communication or a robust engagement with your voters on what this intervention is, what this kind of meeting is. It's not the first time that we've seen opposition leaders meeting with the government. It happens across the board. But the problem is when that platform is used to pursue or to undermine your sponsoring political party. Again, if you look at our constitution, it is enshrined as Kenya is a multi-party democratic state. It is in our interest as a people to strengthen our political parties, because it is within the political party frameworks that the next government will emerge. Now, if you weaken political parties and you end up having a single party state, that is how you start eroding on the democratic gains that Kenyans have fought for and enshrined in their constitution. Even to the serving political administration, it is in their interest that they should have a strong opposition. That because the opposition represents the voice of those who did not vote for them, for the government, but will wish that the government performs its function in a way that is accountable to the people. But if you start eating into the opposition to weaken it, then you are emasculating the democratic space. And before you know it, there will be no difference between the Kenya of today and the Kenya of 1984. It will just be a behemoth party that everybody is required to be Baba na Mama. Just saying Chama Baba na Mama. And you cannot question anything.
Do you think that the government is working towards that direction? Because so far, it's just 6 months, and ingekuwa like we are approaching elections, you could have said maybe people are fighting for their interest of elections. But we are just 6 months after the elections, and there is that mass, crossing over each and every day. Opposition meeting the government. Some of them, they go, and when they come back, they are against their parties and all that. Do you think that is also one of the motives of the government?
It may be their wish. But if wishes were horses, all beggars will fly, will ride. But I can tell you that may be the wish of any political administration to completely emasculate the opposition. But whether they will succeed is a different story. Because in terms of the awareness by Kenyans, that is why you're even seeing there's a robust public engagement and discourse on the conduct of these members of parliament. So, in as much as the government will wish it, I don't think it will succeed. It will because the large population of Kenyans, even those who voted for these leaders, are robust, and they have their antenna up, and they are questioning these moves. So the time will come when the rubber will meet the road in an election. And some of these people, you'll even see them cross over to join the other party. And you'll see new emerging leaders from the parties that they've left who will come up to take up their position and challenge them. And the people will have their say on that day on the ballot.
Wow. And before you wind up, if you look at your party, Safina Party, and you as a Wakili and the deputy party leader, it's like you people from the opposition side, do you believe that the opposition so far is doing its work well?
You see, as Safina, what we have decided is that we are giving the political administration time to come up with set up its structures, come up with its programs, and implement it. And we've given them enough time. It's now 6 months.
6 months.
And you've seen even our leaders largely kept quiet. It's only spoken when the unfortunate statement was made that we are going to start exhuming the body of Jomo to recover what he was. Because then it will have meant that our history means nothing. And you can, because I assume an office, I can do anything to undo the history that we've had as a country.
Create your own
history. And that will be a very dangerous precedent, because you don't know when you start going that route. You don't know when it will stop. In America, they used to have somebody called Machiavelli. No, McCarthy, sorry. McCarthy. They also, from what the principle called McCarthyism comes from. And McCarthyism was about just revenging and setting people up that if you are not loyal enough, we will revenge even if you're dead, if you're in service. So we can't allow McCarthyism to set in, and that is what he was speaking against. And when you allow the concept of McCarthyism to set in the country, that even a dead person who is not there to defend himself is now being questioned for his conduct today. It is a recipe for chaos, because it means that there is no predictability, that I can never organize my affairs in a predictable manner, knowing what the laws are, what are the institutions,
and what are the consequences.
So we kept quiet. We've kept largely quiet to give them time. But I believe time is coming when now some of the challenges they're facing or their shortcomings need to be spoken to. And we need to robustly now start speaking on our alternative platform of leadership. Because the opposition is the government in waiting. And it's in our interest for us to show Kenyans what the shortcomings of this administration are and what do we offer in the alternative. We didn't want to start speaking immediately they were sworn in because they had not told us, started implementing the promise which they had made to the people of Kenya. Now I believe 6 months we can judge them. We may give them a few more months just to, if they say that, okay, maybe we're having hiccups. But very soon you'll be hearing more of us speaking on some of these issues and espousing the ideals for which Safina was founded and what we stand for. We do believe that it is in the interest of everyone that this country grows. And this country can only grow through enhancing and pursuing a production element in our economy. What this administration is about distribution. You are distributing without producing. That's problematic. Because without producing, whatever you are distributing will keep shrinking every day. Safina, on the other hand, and Jimmy Wanjigi's campaign platform was premised on baking a bigger cake. It was about production. How do we produce more? How do we value add? How do we open up new frontiers, new markets to our people? What are the new opportunities that are available to us across the continent, within the continent? Even how do we even engage with the other world, the outside world from Africa? And that is what we'll be unpacking to the people of Kenya as our standpoint in terms of the leadership of this country. And I do believe when the time comes, it will be very stark clear that Jim Willie ticket is the ticket that can rescue this country from the economic malaise that Jubilee had led us into. And the Jubilee you are seeing was in power before. It is again still in power under a new name and coat of paints.
Kenya Kwanza.
Kenya Kwanza.
Wow, as we wind up, Wakili, for the youths who are watching, and the parents who are watching, yesterday, I think the last 2 days, there has been a trend about help. The Higher Education Loans Board, of course, talking about increasing help from 16,000, increasing the university fees from 16,000 to around 52,000. Almost tripling what has been there before. What's your take about that, and what do you think might be the cause? And
you see, the task force, when they made that recommendation, they told us that their recommendations were informed by the views they collected from the people of Kenya. I mean,
the common mwananchi.
I believe that the issue of fees at the universities, the views could have been the views of the students, their parents, and the university administrators. If you look at these three stakeholders, the parents and the students are complaining most. So maybe they only got the views from the administrators. So why did they ignore the views of the students and the parents? Because the realities of today is such that how many students can afford to pay that fees? Are we trying to come up with an exclusivist approach to education where those who are from poor backgrounds are not able to access university education because of school fees, financial scarcity? So that was an unfortunate recommendation, because more so when you have a shrinking economy, but you're increasing the cost of education to vulnerable parents and students who are not able to afford it. I do not believe that that recommendation at this point in time should be taken up. Maybe the task force should have looked at alternative means of funding universities in Kenya.
Yeah.
If they were proposing an increase in fees to 52,000, and concomitant with that, they are also increasing the HELB allocation to the students, then that will have made sense, because you must have a safety measure through which these students should be able to finance their accommodation, their studies. The main thing about higher education is that education helps to unpack the mind of a person. Education is an equalizer, so to speak.
Yeah.
Many Kenyans have become great because of education. If you ask Mwai Kibaki, or those who knew him, Mwai Kibaki became Mwai Kibaki purely because of education. He was just a village boy herding goats, and developed interest in a local church where there was a white man who would come and teach. And he will peep through the window and just watch as people are being taught. And as a result, he started also attending that rudimentary classroom to be taught. And he became one of the, I believe, in fact, if you ask me, I will rank Mwai Kibaki very highly in terms of the president that we've had. Because he was able to turn around our economy from a negative growth rate to a positive growth rate. And by the time Kibaki was leaving, out of every 100 shillings that the Kenyan government was collecting, only 18 shillings was going to debt servicing. So we were literally able to finance ourselves. We had so much surplus to pay for the services the government was rendering, and we had enough money for development. But today, out of every 100 Kenyan shillings the government of Kenya collects, around 65 shillings goes to debt servicing.
So we are only left with around 40.
We're around 35 shillings, of which you need 35 shillings to pay salaries. You need 30 shillings for government operations. You need 15 shillings for counties. So every month you are just borrowing. So education is not something that we need to take lightly and make it an exclusive club that does not accommodate the vulnerable, poor youth, both urban and rural. Because even in the urban areas, many parents and many young people in the urban areas cannot afford to pay the 52,000 shillings for university education. So if they're already struggling to pay the 16,000, many of them are fear areas. If I showed you my Facebook Messenger and even WhatsApp, you have genuine cases of students, many
who have not gone
to school. They're asking in fact, they are not even asking to give them the money. They ask you just pay direct to the university and just give me the slip, then I will be able to attend my classes. So how then do you again condemn them? By increasing that amount.
From 16,000, almost tripling.
As the economy of Kenya tripled to justify a tripling in the fees that these students will pay. That to me is it's an absurdity. And it shows a task force that was not in touch with the everyday realities and challenges that our young people and our parents are facing. A government must be responsive. Government is just about people coming together and agreeing on how we are going to organize our affairs. We are coming together and we agree. It should not be me coming to impose my will on you. No. Our agreement is based on our realities. It's our realities. What is our reality today? Our reality today is that you only have 77,000 Kenyans earning more than 100,000 Kenya shillings
per month.
Wow.
Out of the
almost 21 million
who are employed.
Only 77,000. In this group, you only have 25,000 Kenyans who have mortgages. That is your reality. So the bulk of your population is living in what does not qualify to be decent housing. There is no water, there is no electricity, there is no sanitation. Majority of them are still using pit latrines.
Water is
no running water. They are relying on jerrycans from streams. That's your reality. You go to these hostels of the universities today, you find a hostel that was meant to accommodate 2 students, accommodating 8 students. The students can barely feed themselves. They resort to buying stoves and cooking kettles every evening. Some are having just 1 meal a day because they are not able to afford. I don't believe that they are cooking in their hostels because they like cooking. They are forced to cook because without cooking in those hostels, they are going to die. Cannot feed themselves. So did the task force look into that whole framework of the realities of our students, and what are the other alternative modes of funding which universities can pursue, or which government can come up with, that can supplement the income of the universities. I don't believe that in every problem that you have, the solution is always to ask for more money from the subject. Because it will not sell. Because it's not sustainable. If you increase the fees, if you are 10,000 students, or let's say 1,000 students, you increase the fees, 800 of those students cannot pay the fees. So 800 students will drop out of school. So the funding will not have increased. It will still be, may even be less than what you are collecting before. So why not come up with innovative ways of raising funds for universities? What are some of the partnerships and collaborations that our universities are pursuing with foreign universities or even research institutions? What kind of research can they come up with that can come up with innovations that they can sell and make money?
To make sure that these people are in school as well as these fees
are paid. Yes.
Wow.
So you don't have to increase the fees. Look at these other alternative things that universities can do to sustain themselves. Okay?
Yes.
If we pursue that, the universities will grow. They'll have additional funding through these other sources. And the students will stay in school and study. The problem with our universities, when you tell them to look for additional, they start thinking of being businessmen. Now a university will open a supermarket. A university, they start opening a supermarket.
Within the institution.
That is not the business we are talking about. We're talking about innovative ways, research. Invest in research and partnerships with research institutions locally and abroad. Come up with innovative ideas that are relevant to your institution, that you can even patent and then market and sell. Come up with products that are relevant to the courses being offered, because you have within the university a reservoir of knowledge that when tuned through research can come up with innovative inventions that will change their lives and also earn the university income. That is the kind of thing that I'm talking about. But in Kenya, you'll find a university builds a mall. Now the university has become a landlord. That's also a pedantic way of approaching, in my view.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Reality Kenya, and we are looking at what's happening on the ground, the reality that is going on. And of course, we have been having Wakili and the Deputy Party Leader, of course, Safina Party, Honorable Willis Otieno here, talking about what is going on and his view on everything. Of course, we have had amazing conversation, unless we have something to
Nothing much to say, Simi. Thank you very much for hosting me. Always a pleasure to be with you.
We will always be coming.
Okay,
Thank you so much. Each and every time, ladies and gentlemen, we'll always be happy to have Wakili on this program each and every time. Of course, if you are watching, share with your friends so that this beautiful and amazing knowledge can reach a mass of people who are willing and thirsty for this kind of information. Thank you so much. My name is Simi Kenya. Until next time, may God bless you. Wakili.
Thank you.
Asante sana.
Asante sana.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Okay. See you.